The last time that Snake has won a major tournament in Smash Ultimate was Pound 2019, which was almost half a decade ago.
Not at all.
One more set.
Here comes Myron.
Oh no.
Oh,
I think we're getting one more set. I mean, Ally already at 84%, finally finds a way down to the ground Stairmaster.
21.
okay, nice.
Do I
Love
name
the
one?
ball.
Oh,
Oh my God!
Fast forward to 2024, and for the first time in years, a solo Snake player managed to take another major tournament.
Down throw. All right, I'm rolling back to the leg. Bronco just needing one up smash, maybe one dash attack as well. He is laying into the shield with these forward airs.
You might figure out. There's the down throw. I love the low profile dash attack. Standing jab in the corner. No, actually elects to reset neutral. Can't afford to fight in the corner anymore. Back air. Hold up. Nair. What you doing off the stage now? Nikita.
Oh no.
There.
Oh no.
You did not.
So what's the deal with Snake? Why was Snake so dominant at the start of Ultimate, only to not win a major tournament for almost half a decade? Well, let's briefly talk about it. So for those that need a little history recap here, Snake was added to Smash back in Brawl and quickly solidified himself as one of the best characters in the game. His explosive items, heavy weight, and ability to move around the stage allowed this character to force most opponents to play his game. But despite Snake's popularity amongst the Smash community, Snake would end up being cut going into Smash 4. And he was ultimately never added back into Smash 4, despite some other cut characters making their way back into the game through DLC. And then fast forward a couple more years, and going into Smash Ultimate, Snake was one of the most wanted characters to return into the game. And I'm pretty sure that Nintendo also knew that, considering they saved the "everyone is here" phrase in the trailer for when Snake showed up. Now right off the bat, as soon as Snake was revealed, obviously a lot of the Brawl vets that played Snake were very excited to see Snake again, and obviously planning to main him going into Ultimate. And really, when you look at a lot of the top players in Smash 4, a lot of them started their journey back in Brawl, and a lot of them were actually Snake mains that were forced to change characters due to Smash 4 not having Snake. So it was really no surprise to see players like MVD, Ally, and Salem instantly pick up Snake when Ultimate dropped. Now right off the bat, Snake was a little bit different than he was in Brawl. I would say that he was a little bit weaker than he was in Brawl. A lot of his moves kind of changed a little bit, and just the way a lot of his moves worked, they changed a little bit. I guess I wouldn't necessarily put like one above the other. Like, they both have things that make them good over the other version, if that makes sense. Like, for example, like Snake's side B was way better in Ultimate than it was in Brawl, but some of his other moves changed. Some moves are slower. He's, his weight kind of changed a little bit. So overall, like, a pretty similar character, but definitely some changes. But the point is, as soon as Ultimate dropped, a lot of those Brawl vets ended up picking up Snake right away, because that's the character that they've kind of always played, except for in Smash 4, because they didn't have the option to. But when you look through the results of a lot of the earlier tournaments of Ultimate, you really don't see like a lot of newer players playing Snake. It's mostly those Brawl vets. And like I said, at the start of Ultimate, Snake was definitely a dominant character, I would say, and definitely not the best in the game, but one of those top tier characters that was a threat in any tournament. And I would say that the big breakout tournament for this character specifically was Pound 2019. Not only did Ally get first place using mostly Snake and a little bit of Mario, but we also saw Salem getting 5th place, we saw MVD getting 7th place, and we even saw Pelka getting 9th place. So in other words, a 4th of top 16 was just Snake. Even today, when you look at results, you don't see like 4 Steves in top 16. There's really no character that's that dominant, I feel like. So like Pound 2019 was definitely the showcase of Snake, I feel like. And Ally was definitely the best Snake at the time, I would say. He was definitely one of the best Smash 4 players. Obviously, there's a whole tournament with, Ally and Zero, and like Ally was definitely one of the best Smash 4 players. And that kind of carried over into Ultimate with him using Snake, a character that he's been using since Brawl. Overall, I would say that Snake is a difficult character to learn. There's a lot that makes him very unique from other characters. Like I said before, especially in Brawl, this is a character that kind of forces your opponent to play your game. Like with Snake, I feel like you can kind of dictate how the match goes, and it's kind of up to your opponent to kind of play around that. It's kind of like zoners in general, like especially like a character like Olimar, for example, right? Like you kind of know what Olimar is going to do, and you kind of just have to play around it, right? Like Olimar is going to throw his Pikmin, obviously Snake's going to throw his grenades, he's going to have his explosives everywhere. It's kind of your goal to get around all of that to kind of go in and pick up those KOs. And so it can kind of take a while to really learn that strategy and learn how to pilot a character like that, to where you're basically, your goal is to kind of just frustrate your opponent until they really can't do anything about it. And so I think it really makes a lot of sense when you think about how Snake was pretty dominant at the start of Smash Ultimate, because a lot of those Smash 4 players, or the Ultimate newcomers, a lot of those people that didn't play Brawl had no idea how to fight this character. I mean, even when you just look at the top 8 of that Pound 2019 tournament, it's basically all Brawl vets and MKLeo, who is like the best player in the world, so I mean there's no surprise that he's there. But even him, he got 7th place. So, and the thing about Snake, like I said, I feel like it takes a while to kind of learn this character, And it's kind of like, you know, back in Smash 4 when everybody said that with the character like Shulk, right? Like, oh, this character has potential. It's going to take a while, but, you know, once they figure out how to really pilot this character and figure out all the tech, then, you know, this character is going to be so broken. I mean, we never really got to see that with Shulk. I mean, we kind of did, but not really. But that's kind of how I feel about Snake. You know, this is a character that takes time. You can't just pick up the character and just instantly start winning. Now, obviously, with Smash Ultimate, a lot of stuff has kind of gone on throughout the game's lifespan. You know, COVID happened, tournaments shifted online, so we didn't see any offline events. A bunch of players got banned. Lots of things have kind of influenced the meta of Smash Ultimate. A lot of external factors, and then obviously the internal factors of the actual game. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is the game is naturally going to evolve over time just like any other game, but there were also a lot of external factors that kind of affected the meta game of Smash Ultimate. And like I said, one of those is the fact that a lot of players were banned, and coincidentally, a lot of them were Snake players. One of them, of course, being Ally, the best Snake player in the world. Another one being Salem, who was also a top player in this game. So naturally, when the best player of a certain character is gone from the game, it's going to change some things up. And I kind of feel like that's why we've seen that gap with results for this character. But like I said, naturally this character takes a while to kind of, you know, learn and figure out, and so I feel like a lot of the top Snake players we're seeing today, at the start of Ultimate, they weren't really there, but now that they've had time to develop this character and get the results, you know, now we're starting to see all those results pay off, and we're kind of really seeing how dominant Snake can be in this game. When you look at the top Snake players today, we kind of have like 3 that are really up there, I feel like. Well, I guess kind of like 4, but most of them I would say are newer Snake players that really kind of started with Ultimate. Of course, the first one here is Hurt, that won the tournament that I showed at the beginning of the video, Battle of BC. This is the Japanese Snake player, currently seen as the best Snake player in the world. And when you look at his results, you know, pretty much up until 2021, he had only entered online tournaments, so he was kind of a Wi-Fi warrior, I guess you could say. It wasn't until after COVID, when offline came back, that this player started attending tournaments in person and started dominating with this character. And even then, it still kind of took a while. I mean, his results were pretty decent, of course, but he, you know, wasn't winning big tournaments really. It wasn't until 2023 when he started to get a lot better results. And I would say that his results have been pretty up there so far with this character. I mean, he's been showcasing what this character can really do, and he really kind of just shuts down players. Like, you watch his set versus Spargo at Battle of BC, and Spargo kind of looked clueless at times. Another one of the top Snake players, of course, is Apollo Kage, who is from America. And I would say that, like, before we kind of brought up the discussion of Hurt, we kind of saw Apollo Kage as the best Snake player. I mean, he's definitely up there. I'd say it's between both of them, but I think right now Hurt kind of has the more impressive results. That being said, Apollo Kage, I mean, he kind of grinds tournaments, man. Like, I feel like he kind of travels everywhere, and he'll just win these little regionals. I think he just won one this past weekend, actually. I don't know how many people were there, but I saw on VG Bootcamp that he just won a tournament again. So he's really winning a lot of these more kind of regional events. I feel like he travels a lot. He goes to like Texas, he goes to all kinds of places, and he pretty consistently plays well, I would say. Like, he's always kind of up there in results. A lot of times he doesn't find himself winning the biggest events, but he always kind of finds himself towards the top of the results. I mean, he's kind of proven that he can beat pretty much anybody on any given day. He's not always going to win every tournament, but he is always going to do well, I feel like. And again, it's really just that consistency and showing that he can compete with anybody that's really impressive to me. And kind of similar to Hurt, he really didn't start competing a whole lot until after COVID. He entered a lot of online stuff. Before COVID hit, you know, he did attend some stuff offline, but you know, he didn't really have anything like super impressive as far as results go. I mean, I think his first major tournament here was Super Smash Con 2019, where he placed 513th, so obviously not the best result, but I think, you know, grinding it out on Wi-Fi, entering those weekly tournaments, that really helped him improve with his character, and we really started to see that after COVID. And then the third Snake player that I want to give a shout out to here is Alandis, who also just recently placed very well at a tournament. He just got second place at Coinbox, obviously the biggest online tournament every single week. And again, this is somebody that grinded out Wi-Fi tournaments over COVID. I will say, out of the other 2 Snakes, I think he kind of had the most results, you know, pre-pandemic. It was mostly local stuff in Mexico, so nothing like too big, but still he had some results going into COVID, and then obviously after COVID is when he started to get some more results. I don't think he really travels that much, but you know, we definitely get to see him a lot whenever there are bigger tournaments in Mexico and other players travel to Mexico. And then of course online, he's entering a lot of tournaments, so we get to see a lot of his gameplay there. But those are kind of the 3 Snake players that I feel like are on the rise and kind of the top representation of this character. All these 3 players, you know, kind of came into the game after or kind of during the pandemic, I feel like, and that's when we really started to see these results. Now that, you know, Smash Ultimate has some time to develop into the meta game that we're currently in. The other thing that I think really helps Snake as a character is just the fact that the game is kind of slowed down a little bit. I feel like, you know, we're in this meta game where characters are thriving like Steve and like Sonic and all these characters where you kind of force your opponent to play your game, and Snake is really good at doing that. When you look at the official Smash Ultimate tier list and you look at basically the top 6 characters in the game, I would say 5 of those characters are seen as campy or lame or annoying to play against. The exception here is like Pyramithra, but the rest are characters that kind of fit what I've said and where you're forcing your opponent to play your game. And we've just kind of reached that point of Ultimate, I feel like. When you look at the first official tier list, the top representation looks very different from what it is today, and that's just because the meta is developing. Now, the one Snake player that is kind of the exception to what I've been saying here, of course, is MVD. This is a player that is a Brawl vet that did play Snake back in the day and has played Ultimate since the beginning and up until now. And kind of like Apollo Kage, he has pretty consistent results as far as, you know, placing near the top. He just doesn't really always win tournaments. He'll pretty consistently do well. Every now and then he'll get like a 49th or a 65th, a 33rd, but for the most part, he's kind of placing right outside of top 8 at most tournaments. I do think that MVD is one of the better Snake players in the world. Of course, you know, he does have the results to kind of back that up, but I do feel like the other 3 Snake players, maybe more so Hurt and Apollo Kage, I've just kind of seen that what's the word I'm looking for? I guess that upwards trajectory, right? Like I'm seeing better results at tournaments. I'm seeing higher peaks and, you know, not as low of lows, I guess you could say. And so I feel like those are kind of the 2 Snake players to really look out for. MVD's always going to do well, I feel like, you know, but I just don't see him, I guess, getting to the level that, you know, a player like Hurt is getting to right now. I don't see MVD winning a tournament like Battle of BC like Hurt did. I mean, he's gotten close with some tournaments, you know, he's gotten second, he's gotten third at bigger events, he just hasn't found a way to pull it off. But I think as far as like tournament wins in general, I definitely think MVD probably has the most out of any other Snake player. It's just a lot of, you know, smaller regional events or just smaller events in general. But that being said, MVD definitely plays a huge factor in, you know, evolving the Snake metagame. That's one of those people that you can kind of look up to kind of showcase what this character can do, and I'm sure that MVD is one of those players that really helped all the other Snake players develop. So this is not a knock on MVD's gameplay whatsoever. I'm just saying that I think Hurt and Apollo Kage, when we look forward to the future of Snake, you know, I think those are the 2 players that we're really going to see get those results. And then it may be Alan Dis if he starts to travel more and we get to see more of him offline. But all that being said, let me know in the comments what you guys think. That's just kind of my, I guess, view on the character. I feel like at the start of Ultimate, this was a character that a lot of people didn't know how to play against, and we saw all those Brawl vets that played that character kind of take advantage of that. And then over time, as Snake players left the scene and new Snake players kind of entered the scene, we've kind of seen that transition into the new era of Snake. And we're really seeing this character thrive in the current metagame, and I think we're going to continue to see that. We're just seeing better results from this character each and every tournament, and I feel like there's a lot of really good players that are piloting this character now. And I think it's interesting to watch too. This is a character that we really haven't seen at the very top of tournament results until as of late, and I think a lot of people are enjoying watching Snake. Some people think this character is lame because all you do is drop grenades and hold shield basically, but I think that is cool to see a character go ahead and beat some of these other characters like Sonic, you know, like Steve, that we typically have just been seeing win every tournament. But that being said, we will see what this character can do for the rest of this year. We've got some big tournaments coming up. Get on my level is one of them, of course, and I'm very curious to see if Hurt is going to be able to keep it up at these bigger events. I think we have Kagaribi coming up too, so that'll be really interesting to see. I don't know if any American players are traveling there, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see if Hurt can keep it up, and we'll see what Apollo Kage does. But go ahead and let me know in the comments what character you want me to talk about next. There's obviously a lot of characters doing a lot of different things. I've recently talked about Banjo, of course, and Pikachu a little bit, so let me know what you guys think. If there's any characters you're curious about, or you just want my thoughts and opinions about it, just let me know. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second to do, and you can also like the video if you did enjoy it, but you don't have to. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I've got nothing else for you, so I hope you have a good one, and I will catch you all later.